Hey, welcome back to the channel. Have you guys often thought about those non-lethal pepper ball guns or rubber bullet guns, or have you ever looked at those? I think they're a great idea, especially when it comes to home defense. If you have, I don't know, your wife's in the house and she wants to feel a little bit protected, but really has a problem with firearms. Well, I'm kind of in the same position. It's not that my wife can't shoot a firearm. She actually does pretty well with firearms. However, the thought of her having to take a life, if she absolutely needed to, I don't think she would have a problem with that. The problem is crossing that line between, did I have to shoot? Didn't I have to shoot? And then living with that regret of, what if I didn't have to take that life? So I've been looking around at some non-lethal firearms that are out there. And I will tell you, quite frankly, most of the ones that I've seen, guys, are very, they're just very expensive, right? Anywhere between, $250 to $400 on up to $500-600 for some of these. And you can get into some of them that cost even more than that. I wanted something. I've been looking around, and I've been looking on Amazon, and I've been looking at, YouTube and seeing what's out there, what's available, what people have tried. Well, it just so happened today, my wife and I were up in Bass Pro, and I actually went in to get this. It's a Gerber strong arm knife, and I wanted to get another one of these. I've got one. If you've seen my other videos about me never being without a knife, I always have a knife anywhere, but I always wanted to get a second one of those. They've been out of the one. Like this is one of the nicer ones. It's got the it's got the tan colored sheath on it. It's got the multicolored handle, black blade. I love Gerber. I think they do a fantastic job. I've used Gerber for a long time, especially when I was in the military. Gerber was just the go-to blade. It held an edge, and most of the other knives that I have are all Gerbers. But while I was in there, just happened to be looking around, as I always do in the firearm section, and I came across this. And I'd seen this a couple times on, this is the, which one is this? HDP 50. It's a .50 caliber CO2 pepper round pistol made by T4E, right? This. And they had this for under $100. Now, if a lot of you don't know, I mean, Bass Pro, we joke around a lot. I always say Bass Pro and Cabela's my church, right? I'm actually a bigger fan of Cabela's than I am a Bass Pro, but since they bought them out, it's the same company. They sell almost virtually the identical gear, but I've been in a lot of Bass Pro shops. I've been in a lot of Cabela's. I just love the stores, right? This is a great place to go. I don't buy everything from there. I visit a lot of other little smaller gun shops. I like to support local business owners and smaller gun shops. So I go to a lot of those as well, but just happened to be in there again looking for this Gerber knife, and I came across this, and they had this on sale for under $100. But again, Bass Pro, one of the things that they do is they will price match, and one of the companies they'll price match against is Amazon. So I went on Amazon, found identical gun for under $90, and they price matched it, and so I bought this for under $90. Let's open it up and I'll see what we get with it. I got a chance to kind of try it out. They had a demo in the store, so I did get a chance to try out the demo. And again, for a lot of different reasons, right? Like I said, if my wife, if she had to, she would certainly, comes wrapped up just like this. This one does come with rounds. This comes with, these are the pepper rounds right here. It also comes with these rubber rounds right here. So regular hard rubber balls and then pepper balls. Comes with this little plunger. Not really sure what you're going to use that for, but we'll figure it out. A little Allen wrench, and then some instructions. Oh, and it looks like a sticker. I'm not big on stickers, but anyway, let's go ahead and pull this thing out of the box here, out of the casing. So the thing that I really liked about it is it loads really easy, right? There's a little spring right here, spring guided. You can lock this thing down. And then on the bottom here, this is where the pellets go right here, the balls go right here. They're very small as far as diameter of ball goes. It's not like a paintball, which is fairly big. It's really small, and I'll show you what one of those is and looks like. But you just simply drop 6 of those in there. You lift up on this spring, slide that back. It locks all those balls toward the back. You don't have to rack it. Everything's fixed. It does have some, it has like a phony little safety right here, slide lock. But the safety is actually in the trigger, very similar to a Glock, right? So unless you pull this little safety, right, it's not going to fire. You have to actually depress that safety in order to pull the trigger. Now, the thing I liked about this is most of the other ones that are out there on the market, some of them have magazines. This just has a small little opening on the bottom. That's where the CO2 cartridge goes. And then this locks that CO2 cartridge in. And then when you get ready to fire it, now you can load this with a CO2 cartridge. You can load this with the little balls. Keep this anywhere. The CO2 is not even punctured until you get ready to use it. Once you get ready to use it, you simply slam this bottom, right? Like slamming home a magazine. That releases the CO2, charges the weapon, and then you can fire it just like you would any other firearm. It's fairly thin as far as the handle design goes, pretty thin. So it did fit her hand, the demo one that we tried in the store. It's got, it's got a place in the front here, a little Picatinny rail system here where you could put a light on there. You could put a laser on there if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but you certainly have the ability to do that. Again, the thing I like about it is if the kids were to come home, if my kids were to show up, my son doesn't live with us, but he visits, from time to time. Sometimes he'll come in here at 11 o'clock at night, and he'll usually do that when I'm at home, but he also knows to identify himself when he does do that, because if he does not, he's in a whole lot of fucking trouble if I come around the corner, because I'm pretty much locked and loaded, and the shit that I carry it's lethal, right? So, but my wife was afraid that if that happened, and she had to grab the gun and start firing the gun out of fear. And that's the one thing you got to understand, guys. High stress, high fear does a lot to people. It shuts down a lot of your cognitive thinking and your rational thinking, right? You start catastrophizing, thinking the worst, and you start going toward protection, right? It's a fight or flight mentality, and it kicks in very, very quickly. So we wanted to get her something like this so that if she were to engage with a threat, not understanding or knowing what that threat is, this would be a great non-lethal way for her to engage a threat and not have to actually kill somebody or hurt somebody. You fire 3 or 4 pepper balls at somebody, it's going to put that target down for a little while. It's going to cause that target to think, maybe I shouldn't be here. They don't know what's coming next. And even if you get hit with a rubber round, it's going to hurt like hell. Let's just open one of these up. This is the rubber round deal here. Here, we'll get you. What the heck is that? Open up from the other side here, I guess. Okay, here we go. This is the size of the projectile that it shoots. It's very, very small. It's not very big, right? Very small. But man, this thing is solid rubber. It's going to hurt like hell. So it's going to sting at least, and certainly leave some marks. So it's going to cause somebody to think about their action. The CO2, now this did not come with any CO2, so I did have to buy a pack of CO2 cartridges here. I just got the 24 pack. I mean, they're pretty inexpensive. It was, under 20 bucks. But let's see what this thing sounds like, right? Let's open this thing up and drop this CO2 cartridge in here. And this thing, we want to make sure when you load this that, the CO2 cartridge, the pointy end goes down toward you. So you're going to drop it in just like that. We're going to screw this thing shut. Now, the interesting thing about this too is there's actually an indicator, and you just finger tighten that thing until it stops. There's a indicator right back here if the weapon is charged. If the CO2 is good, there's a little punch that comes out and lets you know that your CO2 is good. If you need to change your CO2, you could do that. But this thing should fire all 6 rounds. This holds 6 round capacity. It should fire all 6 rounds off of one CO2 cartridge. And believe me when I tell you this, 6 rounds of pepper spray is a lot. It creates a dust cloud, right? When the round impacts, it creates a dust cloud of about 3 foot in diameter, right? So a 3 foot dust cloud. So with this particular type of weapon, you don't even have to hit somebody. You just have to be close to somebody. They breathe that shit in, and it's going to give them pause to think about what's going to happen next. So they do sell some other cartridges for these, other balls for these. One that's very similar to, I guess, tear gas. Again, it's in a powder form. When it's delivered, it's going to cause the eyes to water. It's going to cause any kind of mucous membranes in the nose and the mouth to start to let go. You're going to salivate like crazy. Your nose is going to run. Your eyes are going to burn. The pepper does the same thing with the eyes. It burns. It burns into the throat. If anybody, any of you guys have been former military, ever had to go through the gas chamber, where you had to do the gas mask, I'm telling you, it's something you never forget. But anyway, so I think this is going to be a great little tool for her. But let's go ahead and charge this and see what happens, right? So we're going to hit that. That automatically charges it. And you can see right here, this little lever kicked out, right? That little lever right there kicked out, saying that it is charged with CO2. So let's see what this sounds like, right? So we're going to charge this thing. We're going to punch out, and we're going to take a shot. That's pretty nice. Sounds intimidating. People don't know what that sound is, and there's zero kick. I mean, literally zero kick to this thing. Again, CO2, projectile files at I believe it's 350 feet per second. That's that's pretty good, and it's accurate within 25 feet. Right? Or I think maybe the guy even said 20 yards. I don't know about 20 yards, but it, again, all you have to do is get close. Proximity. You don't even have to actually hit the target. But if you hit the target, and again, we're talking about home defense, there isn't anybody going to be 25 yards away, 20 feet. If somebody's 20 feet away and you're pumping rounds into them with this thing, they're going to feel it and they're going to know. So I think it's a great buy. Again, I don't make any money off of this shit, but if you have someone in your home that is afraid to take a life and they want to explore non-lethal options for home defense, I think this is a great way to go. And I'll let you know we're going to be testing this thing out. And the other nice thing is, again, no background checks necessary on this because it's non-lethal. It's not considered a firearm. We're gonna actually try to shoot this in the backyard. We can do that where we're at, and you can practice with this thing. I think that's a lot of what these dummy rounds are for. Probably have to get some more of those dummy rounds because I don't know exactly where they're gonna go if she's shooting into a target. But exploring non-lethal home defense stuff. That's what I got for you today. Hey, if you haven't already, guys, hit that subscribe button. Give me some thumbs up if you like the content. Leave me some comments below if you have any questions on this. I'm happy to answer anything that you got, any questions that you have. I do answer every single one of those, and read through those comments. You'll see. But appreciate you guys watching, and have a great day. Thanks.